Lawrence County depends on WDXE News, on the air since 1950.
So the video is not working?
For some reason it's not. 105.3, 95.3, WDXE.
Hey, that's us. It's time for our Friends and Neighbor Hour, and today we have County Executive David Morgan in here with me. David, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, good morning, Jeff.
Good to
proud
see
to
you.
be here today.
Just so proud to be here.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. We're rolling down the last 2 days here for early voting in Lawrence County.
That's true, yeah.
Republican primary, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Republican primary going on, and 2 more days of early voting, and then the actual voting election day is when?
Tuesday coming up next week on the 5th. So your precincts will be open where you are normally voting. That's where you would go. So if you haven't early voted, you'll have all day on Tuesday. I believe the polls close at 7 p.m. if I'm not mistaken on Tuesday
I think that's right.
evening. So yeah, people will be there all day long. We have poll workers all over the county.
Yeah,
Give you an opportunity to vote.
Yeah,
So,
been a busy time for you.
man, it has. You know, I was out putting out signs about, I guess I started maybe 6 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, something like that. And I realized, last time I was putting signs and stuff out, I wasn't doing this job full time. So I didn't have the job of county executive. So I had, I pastored the church, which is a busy, it's a busy job. There's plenty of things there. But if I wanted to take 2 days when I was pastoring a church, just during, Tuesday, Wednesday or something, I could if I wanted to. Just go campaign, put out signs and all that. So, yeah, it's been a little tighter as far as my schedule's concerned, but man, it's been a joy. I love people, and getting out with people is one of my favorite things. So.
Well, I mean, and it shows. It shows, and you're involved in a lot of community activities too. I know ball. You've got kids, and what you do is family life is good.
Yes, man. Jeff, I couldn't be more blessed. Stephanie got to be on here with me last time I was on here with you, and she is amazing. God sent me the right person. He knew. I had no clue I would be a county executive someday. I kind of knew I was going to be a minister. That's where I felt called to be, and the Lord, it's kind of through that platform of helping people. He's opened the door for me to be a part of setting policy and working in county government. So, but Steph is she is the wind in my sails, and she keeps us going every single day. I've never known her to have a bad day.
Well, what is it? There used to be this saying, behind every successful farmer, there's a wife that works in town, or something like that.
Well, that's true. That's true. That is so true. Yeah, but behind any successful man, there's a woman that's praying for him and undergirding him and helping him. And,
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, with 5 kids, we've got a balanced life. So life is busy.
Yeah.
And but I tell everybody, I don't feel busy. I think busy people are frantic and they're stressed out, and they're barely making it through the day. I say I don't like to use the word busy. I like to use the word productive. I think you got to be productive in life, and every day make it count.
That's a good thought. I use the word busy, but I use it in the context of I like being busy.
Yes, yeah. I do. Yeah, I get bored if I don't have things to do. I might even get a little depressed if I'm just sitting around. Like, I can only be on vacation. Like, first 2 days of vacation doing nothing. If we go to the beach or something like that, I can handle about 2 days. But after that, man,
I agree with you 100%.
I just can't stand sitting around.
It takes me less than 2 days. I never have understood somebody could just sit on the beach.
Oh no! I mean,
just sit there. Are you serious?
Yeah. It is the most boring thing. I mean, how many sandcastles can you build? But again, your children, your family.
Oh yeah.
The kids love every minute of it. My kids exhaust themselves at the beach. I mean, all day long.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And so
that makes a big difference.
So as an old man, I can just go get in my chair over there in the shade, and I can go to sleep for 30 minutes.
There you go. That's a good. Napping. That's different.
What is the deal? So. Is it maybe just my wife, or is it everybody's wife? So like, there's something in their nature that they're kind of against the man taking a nap. Is that real for everybody?
For some reason, I know what you mean.
Mine has come around. Mine has come around in the last 4 or 5 years. But man, the first 20 years of our marriage, it's like the door would get shut a little extra hard, or when I doze off, or a cabinet door would shut.
Oh my
I was always like, man, what's wrong with taking a nap?
A good nap every once in a while is good, no doubt. But hey, what I wanted to talk about, this kind of leads into you know, you became county executive, you're involved in that, and one of the reasons I would assume is because you care about this community and the community that your family is going to grow up in.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you know our families are important to us, and our lifestyles are important to us, and we have a place here in southern Middle Tennessee that's quite sweet.
Oh man, yeah. We kind of live in a bubble here.
We do.
A lot of people don't know that. If you've never traveled much or lived in other states, or certainly been outside the United States, America in and of itself is a bubble on the planet Earth. You know, even the most financially challenged among us in America are still in the top 5% of the wealthiest people in the world, and it's kind of hard for people to understand that.
We take it for granted, you know. A lot of us do. We take it for granted, but those of you that serve and get involved, you kind of know what it takes.
Yeah, yeah, and it does. It takes everybody, man. You know, one of the joys I've had of working in county government is being able to work and partner with the county commissioners. You know, you got 18 different people from different districts in the county, and you know, being able to work alongside of them to get things done, it's been great. I just firmly believe there's no challenge that we can't meet head on, and we can't overcome and make some good policy for Lawrence County. There's no challenge that we can't overcome as county government if we'll just sit down around the table and, you know, and have those conversations that are necessary, and be willing to flesh it out together, for sure.
Sure. Well, I will say this while I'm getting the show started here with David Morgan, our county executive, and of course at this point running for re-election. And the campaign is in full swing, I guess.
Full swing, yes, sir.
We're here on the Friends and Neighbors Hour, and for some reason the camera is not working. All the audio is, and it's on Facebook and YouTube, but the cameras, for some reason, are just not working. So if you're tuned in through Facebook or YouTube, it's not your fault. It's happening here in the studio for some reason.
Yeah, the owl is not paying attention.
It's on and working. All the buttons are there. It happens every once in a while. I don't really know why. I'm just not that much of a technical guru. But anyway, we're still live and on, and I'm sure David wouldn't mind if someone has questions. Maybe they might want to talk.
Be great.
We can open up the phone line, 766-9393. And I know we have at least one because she's pretty regular and has a lot of stuff going on. Hey there, you want to talk to David?
Yes, one of the things I wish he would cover after I hang up are what exactly is he over? I think people get it confused. I lived here growing up, moved off, moved back, and sometimes I'm upset with something with the city versus the county. And by that, I don't mean it's horrible, but an example is I went to get my driver's license the other day, and there was probably 10 people waiting. And the people wouldn't have time to even answer the phone. They were excellent. That helped me. But just that, and I was almost irritated because I didn't know who to be irritated with. But positive level, and this is good for him, I was talking to Kathy Neacassess, who used to be she's still a county historian, but I called her about things, and she kind of let me know that my issue had to do with the city, not the county. And she was very positive about who you're talking to today. But anyway, the thing is I have really used the archives and the library and found the people that have retired, but the people there now working, they do a lot, and they bring a lot of people into town, especially the archives doing research. And
Okay.
I just want to throw those two out. I think they would fall under the county, but correct me if I'm wrong.
All right. Thank you. All right, David.
Well, the answer is always it's the city's fault. No, I'm just kidding. As the county mayor, we, of course, we all go back and forth between the county and the city. But yes, there are very distinct lines, and you're right. The library and the archives are departments in the county government, and they actually aren't elected positions, so they fall underneath the oversight and purview of the county executive's office, as does maintenance for the county, as does the EMS service, as does solid waste, and I could go on and on down the list of various ones, election office, budget office, various ones. So I have 11 different department heads that directly report to me, and 9 of those directly report to me. I have oversight of 2 more departments that either are grant funded or state funded, but we are the fiscal agent for them. So
well, we may talk about each of those individually a little
Yeah.
bit. We got another phone call. Someone wants to talk.
Yep.
Hey, good morning. You're on with us.
Are y'all on the radio this morning?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Well, I'm not picking you up.
Oh, okay. Well, it's on. I promise. Maybe it's all right. Thank you. She was trying to get you.
All right. Yeah. Well.
But yeah, we're on. We're wide open and up and running. So very, very good. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. What exactly am I over? Is that?
Yeah, she's talking about the things are over, and we got phone calls. Hey, you're on with us. You want to talk to David?
Yeah, I was wanting to see if David could just go over with a lot of people like myself don't know exactly what the data center is. Could he give us a brief summary of what it is and what it does, so that a lot of the older people don't have a clue?
All right, maybe we can talk about that. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. All right. Well, which one you want to do first?
Well, let's talk about that real quick, because last night I had a meeting at the courthouse at 7 o'clock with a lot of people that are concerned about this data center project coming to town. So a data center, there's two different types. There's AI, artificial intelligence data centers, and then there's also cloud storage data centers. And so the difference in the two of those is, one, the cloud storage data center works kind of like a warehouse. It's a place for things to be stored and to be moved in and moved out. An AI data center is more like a manufacturing plant. And so there's processing going on, there's a lot more energy consumed and waste and things to be considered. So what we are getting here, from my understanding, is we are getting a cloud storage data center here. So it's not an artificial intelligence data center, it is a warehouse, if you will, for information to be stored. The thing is, sir, I didn't remember your name, or if you mentioned
That was Dennis.
Dennis. So Dennis, what happens is nobody wants to delete their pictures anymore on their phones. Nobody, our Facebook threads are always there. I can go back to my Facebook feed 8 years ago and it's still there, right? And so for that to be possible, it has to be stored somewhere on some equipment somewhere. And that's the same thing with your Google search history, everything that's going on, everything that's in the cloud, if you will. Everybody says it's a cloud, but actually no, it's a data center somewhere.
That's right.
That has servers. And so basically, in every computer, there's you got processors and you got a hard drive, and the hard drive is the storage in the computer, and that storage, it just times a million. I mean, or a billion, if you will. There has to be places to store all that information. So that's what this data center, from my understanding, is, and it's going to be it's about a 70,000 square foot building, about the same size as Rick's Commissary down in Leoma. Not quite that big, or tall. It's a little lower. Mm-hmm. From the current specs, we see that it's going to be about a 5 megawatt power user and capped at 7 megawatts, according to the contract with LUS that I've heard about. And so, what that is, it uses about as much power as Modine or. And at the end of the day, it's utilizing 1% of our power capacity in Lawrence County, just 1%. So people need to remember that. Now, when you're hearing stories or you're seeing stuff on Facebook about data centers, we're talking about there are data centers out there that use 100 gigawatts of power, which it's unfathomable for us, because I mean we don't even,
we couldn't support that here anyway.
Well, we don't even have that amount here, right, as it is. So we're not comparing apples to apples here when you're seeing a lot of the stuff on social media. However, I mean, there are things to be considered, there are things to be concerned about, and there are things to pay attention. Anyway, it's going to bring it's going to bring its questions and concerns, and it's also going to bring some opportunity for us. And it may be something that Lawrence County, doesn't expand into over time. It may be something that we learn from this one and move on to the next one. But as far as fear and water and all those things, there are Tennessee Department of Environment Conservation watches these things very closely, like every manufacturing plant that's around. So, and the EPA. So I think.
Well, there's actually no such thing as any kind of manufacturing process that doesn't have waste and power usage.
That's right.
No matter what it is.
Yeah. And again, this is just storage. So the usage of power is for keeping the place cool and keeping the equipment running and all that. So
interesting. All right, well, going backwards now to our other question is the duties and responsibilities.
What am I over? Okay.
What are you over? You might, I don't know, you may want to go department by department and kind of talk about what they do or something like that. But I know you're very well versed, and you've worked hard to become very good at what you do.
Yes, well, I appreciate you saying that, man. I do take pride in it, and I really do work hard. My dad told me early on in life, always be a learner, you know, always be learning. So it's something it's very important to me. And so there's twofold responsibility of county executive. So number one, according to state constitution, I am the CFO of the county, chief financial officer. So my responsibility primarily is to present a budget to the commission and work with the commission to pass a budget. And when they pass a budget, again, the commission's only constitutional responsibility is to pass a budget. There are other things that have been added over the years in different counties, but primarily their only constitutional responsibility, according to the state, is to pass a budget. So once the budget is passed, then I am responsible for managing that budget with the commission to make any amendments that are necessary or additions to that. They have to approve anything like that. So that's the CFO side. So the budget office falls underneath my oversight in that regard. The budget director is someone that I recommend to the commission for appointment, and then they vote that person in to be the budget director for Lawrence County. So that's my primary responsibility, or one of my primary responsibilities. Second is I'm the CEO of the county in regard to non-elected department heads. Okay, so and that's the ones when you mentioned the library, you mentioned the archives. I could not be more proud of the library and all that's going on over there. Marie Brennan, she is doing a great job, and all of her staff at the library, they do a wonderful job. The archives is also part of that. Ashley does an incredible job at the archives, and I could not do her job. She's surrounded by books all day long. I would completely lose my mind. I mean, I like to read, but like I got books all over my office, but like I don't know, I just couldn't do what she does. But I'm so glad somebody loves that and is called to that, because she does an incredible job. You know, county maintenance, we have 16 plus or minus buildings that we are responsible for with county maintenance, and our county maintenance department is run by Mark Brewer, and he is more than just a maintenance director. He is more like a project manager. We do all of our own contracting in most of our buildings. We do our own remodeling. We use inmate labor to help with that too. So that's exciting, and that's a big part of what I do. As a CEO, I also oversee the day-to-day operations of solid waste in Lawrence County. So it is the responsibility of county government to dispose of all waste in the county. It's not our responsibility to pick it up. It's our responsibility to get it either in the ground somewhere, basically, or incinerate it or whatever. So we contract with a company out of Northeast Mississippi, Waste Connections, and they truck our garbage down there and put it in a humongous landfill. So I'm over that as well, the oversight of that. And then also your ambulance service, EMS, that's under my purview as well. And that, that is something that is vital to all of us. And one of the things I'm very proud of we've been able to do is been able to give them considerable raises over the last 4 years to get them to more of a competitive place where we are typically fully staffed. Sometimes we'll be down a person here or there, and we've been able to add a 5th ambulance to Lawrence County, which when I came in, Jeff, we according to state recommended minimums, we were not meeting that. And so that means every 10,000 residents, you should have an ambulance full-time operation. So we had 4 ambulances, and we had, our county is a county of 47,000 people. So now we have 5, so we're a little bit ahead of the game on that, and I'm proud of those people, proud of our teams and our crews over there. And, they do a lot. They see a lot.
They sure do.
They experience a lot, and a lot of them are very young, and they just need our thoughts and prayers too. I want to say that, because there's some tough days for them, and
no doubt,
saving lives is a big deal. The list goes on and on and on of other things, that I'm directly responsible for or in oversight of, but I enjoy what I do. I enjoy being a part of the story. The Veterans Office, the Veterans Affairs Officer, he falls under my purview. The Election Office. Indirectly, I'm responsible for the Health Department as well, and then also the Lawrence County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition. I sign timesheets and their, my name's on their check as well. So, but all of their positions are grant funded, so it's a good thing. But when state money comes downhill, county government is responsible for managing those grants, and so that's something we do as well in my offices. So, anyway, a lot going on at the county executive office.
There is,
yeah.
no doubt about it. Well, let me ask you this: while you were kind of going through some of the list there, what has been during your time as county executive? What has been some of the greatest challenges that you faced? What do you think some of the greatest challenges were, and maybe still are?
Yeah, I think, when I came in, we were kind of hit, boom, right when I came in with EMS situation, shortage of staff. We only had 4 ambulances, but oftentimes we weren't even able to fully staff 4. And most of the time we were running 3. With a town of 46,000, we were only running enough ambulances to serve 30,000 people.
Was that because maybe wages weren't competitive enough and you were just losing people?
That was part of it. And again, I here's the thing in county government: there's always something that needs to be tended to. And
sure.
T.R. Williams and his whole team did a great job digging us out of a big hole that we were in financially when he came into office. People may not realize this, but the county was nearly broke when he came in. They were every year they were borrowing money in the fall to pay payroll, waiting on property taxes to come in the spring. Then they would pay that loan back, and then they would do the same thing every fall. So TR and Teresa Purcell and that whole team did an incredible job of digging us out of that hole, and they gave me a platform of good fiscal management to build upon, and we've been able to really expand that and grow that. So that's helped. You just can't meet every challenge in the moment, and so EMS was a big one when I came in, and we've been able to really make a dent in that, and there's still stuff we need to do in that. And then I would say solid waste was another big one. You may remember our company that we contract with, raised our rate 69% at the end of the first year. I was in office, so I'm like 69% increase. We were already in the hole in solid waste every year.
Yeah.
So anyway, and we were the only county in the state that had one place to bring your garbage. And if I'm not mistaken, we're the 5th largest county as far as land area goes.
I think that's true.
And so that is a long way. I mean, one place to bring your garbage. So why do we think we see trash dumps on the side of the road or just random trash? It's because nobody has a place to really dispose of trash. So we've been able to grow that and expand that. We've been able to put some, we've got one convenience center in Loretto, and if you talk to the people of Loretto, man, they love that place. I mean, they enjoy going there. Our people down there, they actually unload your vehicle for you. You don't even have to get out. And they're bringing their recycling and all that. And hey, we get to sell cardboard as a county. We sell a lot of cardboard in Lawrence County, and it helps offset the cost of solid waste.
Sure.
So plastic as well, and so recycling's important. And when I came into office, I wasn't a recycler, but I soon learned about solid waste and the advantages of recycling, and my wife will tell you to this day, we've cut down about 90% of what went in our normal garbage now goes into a recycle bin, and we take those bags in every single week.
There was a lot of talk about that at one time. You don't hear about it much anymore.
No, I remember when I was a kid, there was a whole lot of talk, and Keep America Beautiful is a organization I'm a part of, and Keep Tennessee Beautiful is an organization I'm a part of, and are actually planning a county-wide trash pickup event for later in the summer. And so I want to get people out and let's get this place cleaned up, man. We live in the most beautiful place in the country.
It's incredible.
Keep it that way.
It really is. I think about it sometimes because we have a dumpster behind our office that we pay for. So there's that. But then on occasion, I do have to go to the landfill, what we call the landfill. We call it the dump or the landfill anyway. But I'm always incredibly amazed at how much stuff is coming in there.
Oh man,
it's unbelievable how much trash and garbage we generate.
So we partner with the city. People need to understand. So officially, that's called a transfer station.
Transfer station
that you come to in Lawrenceburg. So again, it's a place we transfer garbage from that floor where it's dumped. It goes into trucks and it transfers to Mississippi. So that's why it's called that. We don't have a landfill in Lawrence County,
right?
And so, but we partner with the city there as well. So we we allow the city solid waste department, their sanitation department uses that building and parking area for their trucks and various things. But also they have a dumpster there. Like if you bring some construction debris to the county transfer station over here in the middle of town, there's a fee of $25 for, whatever you've got, whatever. So that is actually a city, so there's a dumpster there, and that fills up that dumpster, and when that dumpster's full, it's taken out to, the city does have it's a construction and demolition landfill, a C&D landfill on Wildcat Ridge, and so that's where that money goes. That's a city fee, it's not a county fee. A lot of people just get mad at the county. We're like, well, this is a cooperative relationship, and the city's got to pay for, they got to pay for the cost of managing their landfill and all that. So
Sure.
that dumpster goes out there a couple times a day. I think they take a dumpster out there and put it in the C&D landfill. So if you have construction debris and all that kind of stuff, there is a place to take that. You come to our transfer station. They weigh them there, and if it's not a mixed load, if it doesn't have like mixed in municipal solid waste, household garbage, it's just construction debris, then they'll send you on out. If it's a bigger load, they'll send you on out to the ridge out there, and you can dump it there. So
Interesting.
exciting stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, you got to have a place for the garbage. You just do. I'm amazed at just how much our household generates.
It's unreal. Well, we've got pigs now, so we don't have as much trash as we used to have as far as anything biodegradable. So
Yeah, biodegradable stuff goes to the pigs.
Pearl is handling business with that for sure, and she loves it. She gets excited.
Well, the challenges that you faced, coming into the office were one thing, but now you've had some experience. You've learned a lot, and what do you see? What do you see for the next go round?
Well, there are some big challenges, Jeff, coming down the pipe. Tennessee is still number 4 most moved to state in America. So, you're a realtor, you understand the property values,
Absolutely,
and how they've increased and all of that. And so, growth is a challenge for us, and we've got to have a good plan. And so, you'll hear the city has a strategic plan they put out a year or so ago for growth, and I applaud them for that. So I'm working with the University of Tennessee. They have an organization called CTAS, and they've just expanded through the state government has appropriated the money to create a department that helps county governments do strategic planning. And it's hard enough at the city level, but it's even harder at the county level when you have elected offices. So not only so I have to work. We have to work together with the county commission on a strategic plan, and then you've got to work with the road superintendent. You've got to work with the school system, which is the school board, which are elected officials.
Right.
All the way down the line, there's all these elected officials that you got to get on the same page to work out a strategic long-term plan for the county, and that's the plan for the growth and how we're going to manage it financially at the end of the day, and physically how we're going to do it. So I'm working on that. That's a big part of my initiative in the next 4 years is to develop a strategic plan. And part of that comes down to, listen, I want to protect farmland in Lawrence County. Like, man, I love cruising. I love going out to my farm and seeing cattle and beans and corn fields. And
Sure.
That's what people love about Lawrence County.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we want to protect that. We want to protect the best farm ground and give people an opportunity to to not be just swallowed up by all the growth. And so there's a balance to that too, because hey, look, farmers worked hard and they've had their land for generations, and sometimes their children choose a different path in life and they choose to sell some land, and there's no way I never want to infringe upon that right either, right? I mean, if somebody
Sure.
wants to sell land and profit off of that, then that's their prerogative. It's private property rights in Tennessee,
Sure.
and America in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, us realtors love.
Oh yeah. Well,
That's the way it ought to be.
yeah. Well, you haven't complained at all about the property values going up, right?
Not at all. Until I want to buy something, and then of course, yes.
Yeah. But now that percentage is always negotiable. Am I right?
It's negotiable.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely. Everything in real estate is negotiable. Yes, indeed.
Okay, I never knew that on my first couple of home purchases. But
You
anyway.
didn't?
No, I never knew that. I thought 6% was set in stone.
All things are negotiable.
Oh man. No, there's a lot of challenges, a lot of different things. We're still, we want to build convenience centers around the county. My plan is to build 3 more, so that would be a second term initiative. We're trying to acquire land right now. not everybody wants a convenience center in their backyard, and I understand that. And a lot of people don't know what they are. They think it's the transfer station, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know, convenience centers can't have garbage there overnight. It's against the law. There's no stink or smell or.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's well kept and well managed. And if you know Gary Wayne Hyde, our solid waste director, and Zach Fralix, his assistant, and then Jeff Grinnell on the city side, these guys, this is what they do with their life: is manage.
They've been
waste.
dedicated to it.
Yeah, they manage waste, and they take pride in doing that and doing that well. And so we've got a great team that works together. You know, these guys are going to make sure things are clean and well kept, and that the citizens around there are going to be proud of that facility. So we're looking at some land on the west end of town right now, a couple of different places, and we're looking at some at Summertown right now, and so there's a lot of expansion there. I guess one other thing that will be coming down the pipe, and it's always something to be considered, is public safety.
Yep.
For us. So EMS is going to be something always on the front burner. County fire. Man, I guess, Jeff, the thing I'm most proud of over the last few years is we've been able to more than double the annual allocation that we were giving to our county volunteer fire departments.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of that, because now they have collectively come together as a board. All these chiefs sat down together, which is amazing, because 20, 30 years ago, they were duking it out in parking lots occasionally because they're so competitive with each other.
Yeah.
But now they sit down together at a table and they make decisions collectively
Yeah.
for the whole. And we've got full-time county firemen now, Monday through Friday, in the peak hours of the day. It's cut response times down considerably. Lives have already been saved because we've repositioned some taxpayer funding and dollars to be able to fund these guys. And they collectively put in their money from their own budgets that we've helped them increase. They put it together to pay these men and women full-time to serve as county fire. So super proud of that. If I'm not blessed to have a second term and I get a one-term shot at this thing, I will, for the rest of my life, be proud of what we've been able to do when it comes to emergency services across the board. And so, again, I want to continue to make a big impact in that area as we move forward as well.
Yeah. For the safety of all of us.
Yes, sir. You know, my parents have, my dad will be 81 here in a few months.
Saw your dad the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, he was at the ballpark.
He's a sharp fella, isn't he?
I've always loved your
I
dad.
love that guy. He's awesome.
Yep.
He's my hero. And then my mother, she's 79, and their lives have been saved by our people right here at EMS and Air, Life Flight and our local hospital. So very thankful to have a local hospital. I want to give them a shout out. I know it's hard to run a small hospital and make it profitable, but we have 400 employees out there, and it's a great place. And man, I commend them, and they do a great job. And
for what's considered a small community, we're fortunate to have the hospital.
Yeah, a lot of the counties around us don't have a small hospital anymore, and so the closest ER is an hour away, or 45 minutes away, and that. Listen, 45 minutes, ambulance service does a great job to preserve life and keep people, but they don't have all the same equipment that you have in an emergency room. So, they can only do so much. And it's important to have a local hospital, have this local emergency room here, and it's a 100-bed facility, and, they do a good job, and I'm very proud of them. And I hope that we can help them as well as the years go on.
Yep. Do you see any... department expansion needs? They're always going to want to expand. Is there anything on the horizon there that's going to require a lot of deep thinking? Probably all of them, but
so one that most people may not think about is probation department. So
oh wow.
So we have actually passed this past budget. The commission gave me the money to be able to set up a county probation office, which that actually goes into effect July the 1st of this year. And they will open their office, and that'll begin county probation. So we've had a private company, for the last 16 years or so, maybe a little longer than that, 20 years maybe, that has managed probation. And so that's something, when I came in, there were a lot of alarms and red flags going off from the state level, and there are various things that a lot of times, Giles County, for instance, went through a huge lawsuit and had to pay a ton of money from their general fund. And part of it was due to, some of the probation practices where it was outside of the purview of the county government. So we're putting that back in-house, and it's been there before, but we're going to do that in-house, and I'm excited about the future there. The company that served us, they've served us well over the last 20 years, and we're thankful for them, but it's time for us to take that step. So anyway, that's not a super exciting thing for the average citizen, I guess, to consider, but
that's not something I would have thought that the county had a hand in all that much. I figured that was, I figured it was state.
Well, there's state probation, but we're talking about misdemeanor probation. So we're talking about circuit court.
Okay.
And Jeff, that's important because that's before they become felons, before they kind of stay in that rat wheel of poor decisions, right?
Sure.
Let's catch them early, and let's give them an option to be able to go to probation. And probation is oversight, right? And so they have to go to like substance abuse classes and meetings, and there's accountability for them, maybe educating themselves on the dangers of these kind of decisions. And I say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right?
Sure.
So if we don't help them early, they end up in our jail.
Yeah.
And then that costs us a considerable amount of money a year to take care of that person. And I'd rather see them get the help they need for whatever mental health struggles they have or substance abuse issues they may have, or whatever it is that triggers, drug usage or whatever's going on in their life. So excited about that. Judge Harris, man, excited to work with him and all the rest of our judges in that. And, Tammy Hardy is our Lawrence County Probation Director. She's worked in that field a long, long time.
Okay.
And stole her from Tommy Lee Kidd's office, the circuit court clerk's office. She's been working there for a long time, but she comes highly recommended, and she's going to do an incredible job. And we're in the process of onboarding the assistant director, and I'm excited about that young man that has been chosen for that. So anyway, looking forward to that. It's going to be a big part of what we do. And as far as expansion goes, county fire is something I'm going to continually look at, and we're going to continually try to increase funding for them and to be able to help them do what they need to do in Lawrence County. And our ambulance service is always something we're constantly looking to expand. Maybe not numerically, but we've got to stay competitive in the market.
Sure.
And that's a big challenge for us right now. And so those two are big focuses for me. And keeping the sheriff funded with what he needs to do what he does, and unfortunately he's on the end of the law when people are breaking the law. He's got to be there. So any dollar we spend prior to that moment is well spent. An ounce of prevention, again, is worth a pound of cure. So, but he's got to have the tools he needs to, and we've been able to really do some good things in the sheriff's department over the last 4 years as well. So
good, very good. What about, you mentioned facilities, the county facilities having so many, I guess, pieces of property and buildings. You mentioned the maintenance. Do you see any facilities needs that need to be met?
So our primary ticket is, what we spend the most money on in county government is education and school system. So yeah, the school system paid last year for a study to be done about growth and growth management. And
okay.
So that study was done, and we all attended that meeting. And the consensus there was from the study is that we are facility-wise, we're in pretty good shape as far as classroom space in Lawrence County for the next 10 years worth of growth. Now there's going to be some shuffling of the deck here and there. There's a few of our K through 8 schools that are slammed up. Leoma is packed out. Etheridge is packed out. There's going to be some changes that are made to maybe try to filter a few other students to some of the other ones. But overall, for the next 10 years, we look pretty good on classroom space. Now, there are athletic facilities and auxiliary facilities that need to be built. Mm-hmm. And so, one of the things, if you've heard us talking about, the county and the city own the Southern Tennessee Higher Education Center, but that's in the process of being purchased by Columbia State Community College, and so we're going to get back our original investment in that plus a little bit of money. And my goal is to parlay that, because that money was borrowed and that money was spent for educational space. Mm-hmm. And so there's still a little bit of a bond left on the school on the county side. And so in the bond, requirements, it has to be spent on educational buildings. So my goal, I'm working with the school board. Michael Atkins, they've put money aside as well. We want to build a new gymnasium at Summertown. That's something they've needed for a long, long time. If I love playing basketball in Summertown, but
Yeah.
one good elbow and you're into the wall. You know what I mean? And so that's something they've needed for a long time. Summertown is our fastest growing area of the county, and so student population's increasing up there. Building a gym at Summertown is on the horizon, in my opinion, and my goal. Of course, I got to get the buy-in of the commission. Then Lawrence County High School has one gym floor for 1,100 students. It's been that way for a long time. And so they're talking about building a multi-use facility there that'll create another room big enough for kids to practice ball or do whatever they need to do, or for the band to be in there, or the cheerleaders to be in there, and that kind of stuff to kind of spread it out. I remember when I was in high school, that gym was full. There's people everywhere, and coaches trying to coach down there on the court, and they're, baseball would be up in the top. Now they've got some facilities, which is great. But anyway, and they were talking about doing some things at Loretta High School as well. I believe they need some more things done down there. So again, we leave a lot of those decisions. Those decisions are up to the school board and the school system. What they need, they come and tell us what they need and what help they need. So I'm excited.
And then it has to pass the county commission after that.
That's right. I'm excited though, Jeff, because for the first time, maybe in the history of our county, I'd have to research this. We're going to be able to cash flow these projects in conjunction with the school system through our savings.
Okay.
And not borrow money to build several million, considerable multi-million-dollar projects here. So I'm excited about that. We've got the ability to do that because we're fiscally stable and strong, and part of that is we've managed our budgets well over the last 4 years, and even my predecessor did well, and so we're in a place of strength right now, and that's great. And we've got the highest rainy day fund we've ever had in Lawrence County history, and
Explain the rainy day fund.
Yeah, it's a savings account. Everybody should have one.
Sure,
right?
we should.
Everybody should have one. You should have 3 to 6 months of expenses in savings. And the county government, our budget, just in our 101 budget, is about $26 million a year. And so right now we have a little bit over $14 million in our rainy day fund. So we have more than half of our annual expenditure, so 6 months plus a little bit in the bank, in case, look, we've had some high winds in Lawrence County. We had a tornado touchdown in Bonnertown a few weeks back.
That's right.
Yesterday, last couple nights, Summertown's been hit in various places. But if a F5 came through here like it did when I was in school, it came through Etheridge, I believe it was. There's a lot of work that has to be done, a lot of money that has to be spent immediately. And so you need a rainy day fund to be able to look at those situations and deal with those situations, similar to the 98 flood and various things like that. And the comptroller's office they're the money police, right? They fine-tooth comb every penny that we spend every year. They audit us. And they require that you have at least 16% of your annual budget in fund balance, which is your savings account.
Sure.
But healthy counties have at least 50% or more, and we're above that. And so I'm excited about that. But we can choose to utilize some of that money for capital projects for the school system as well. And man, I'm fired up about it. I'm excited about it. And we were able to do a huge project at Summertown over the last 4 years too. Their whole football stadium and all of that. Summertown doesn't have it. There's no city there. There's no incorporated city.
That's right.
And so they solely rely upon the county to help fund what they do. So proud to be a part of that. Yeah.
We'll take another call, maybe?
Yeah, cool.
Hey, good morning. You're back on with David.
Can the county lend to the city or any city in the county? And I'd like to comment on that, because if they can, then maybe the county could lend the city the money to help Springer Road, and 7th Street's got a big hole in it right now. Just wanted to throw that out. I just was curious how that worked.
Okay, I don't think that'll work, but
no, in my experience, I haven't seen that happen. So I don't think that is something the county and city, the county can do for the city. The city does have its own its own borrowing power and caps, and they can do bonds and things just like we can. Good thing about government is we can get bonds, which have the very low interest rates. We have some bonds on our books right now that are in the process of being paid off that are 1.8%, 2% interest.
Yes.
Well, that's less than the growth rate of money right now. So
Sure.
we've got our rainy day fund's growing, and we Kylie Weathers, our county trustee, he invests that money and a certain percentage of that money, and it's growing more than some of our debts are costing us, and so we've got a net increase there in funds that are coming in. But yeah, I understand the struggle of Springer Road. A lot of people ask that question. Well, what about Springer Road? It's in Lawrence County, but there are clear lines of delineation between city streets and county roads, and there's also state roads in this county that have to be It's so I know it's all Lawrence County, but there are some pretty cool lines.
All right, maybe there's someone else that wants to talk to us here. Let's see. Hey, you'd like to speak to David?
Yeah, I'd like to ask him a question with, since Lawrence County is so prone to severe weather, I wonder has there ever been any consideration about having some tornado sirens constructed in the county?
Yes, sir. We that's something we're actually talking about right now, because I remember when I was a kid, those sirens would be going off. And of course, I lived in Lawrenceburg. But
Inside the city, they would, yeah.
Yeah, we would hear that. And so there's some talk about that, because the Bonnertown situation kind of opened our eyes to some things. And a lot of people, didn't hear a siren, or there was no warning for them.
Yeah.
And in places, in some remote parts of the county still too, there's no cell phone service. There's no, unless you have internet at your house, you're not able to get Ben Luna's, station or this station that are putting out weather warnings. And so, yeah, that's something that's currently on the table. We're discussing about more sirens around the county.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. That's interesting. There are more resources to hear about weather now than there have ever been.
There are, yeah, for sure. And we're getting better. And that's the thing. We are getting better and better all the time, but we still have to look at the places that are still a loss. Well, again, another one of my department heads that reports directly to me is Shelton Barnett with County EMA, Emergency Management.
Right.
And this is something he has been talking to me about, and we've been discussing in the post Bonnertown situation. And also with our county fire director, Tyler McDowell, who's a volunteer, by the way, but he runs our county fire as if he was a full-time employee, and it's awesome to see that. But yeah, they both have been at the table with me, and we've been talking about different things that need to be done. So excited about that. Of course, everything costs a lot of money. And we've got radio issues in this county too, where some of these emergency services, their radios don't even work in some of the most remote corners of the county.
Yeah.
But what we love about Lawrence County is the hills and hollows, but also that's a challenge for communication.
Well, we're talking to David Morgan, our county executive, and of course running now for re-election to the office. And of course, one of the things I want to give you an opportunity to do, it's voting time.
Yes, sir.
And you're here because you're wanting to vote. And I thought, I'd give you an opportunity to tell us, why, David, why should we want David Morgan as our county executive again?
Man, what a question.
How about that?
That's a great question. One, I want to say I'm thankful for the last 4 years. It's been a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should get involved in public service in some way, whether it's in nonprofits, in your community, work through your church to serve other people, do something, get involved in civics and government. For me, Jeff, I could say I think the track record is proof of itself. And the last 4 years have been, in almost every measurable metric that I've seen, been the best 4 years our county has ever had in numerous ways. And part of that, a little bit of that has to do with me, but collectively that has to do with everybody that's been serving across the board, from municipal governments to county government. And so, one of the things I learned coming in was I had a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And while I've been in office, I've gone to school and got a master's degree in leadership and public service. And I'm not saying it made me some expert overnight, but it certainly gave me tools and understanding I did not have prior to that. And I'm looking forward to using that. I graduated last July, but I'm looking forward to using that in another term, a second term, to be able to even do more things that help strengthen our community. Look, I love this job. And because it's not really a job to me. It's a continuation of what God called me to do a long time ago, and that's to serve Him and to serve people. And, love God and love people. Jesus summed up the whole law and commandments in those two things.
That's right.
And my dad always told me, he said, son, everybody's got to make a living, but not everybody gets to make a difference. He said, focus on making a difference, and everything else will take care of itself. And And I've really done that. I've really focused on that. And so that advice has led me through my life. And I want to continue to serve the Lawrence County citizens and make good decisions, because I'm raising 5 babies here, and I've got some grandbabies on the way. I'm believing for twins for my oldest one, but anyway. I want to live right here in Lawrence County the rest of my life. I want my kids to be here. I want my grandkids to be here. I want to create opportunity for them. I'm a farmer, first generation farmer, and as soon as I can get farm credit paid off, we'll I'll have something worth leaving to my kids. But I just love Lawrence County. It's my home. It's been my home since 1979, man, and I want to continue to keep it great. And I'm going to ask the citizens to help me. Today is early voting day. Tomorrow's our early voting day. It closes tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Early voting will be over, and then the drum roll happens until Tuesday, May the 5th, the election.
Tuesday, May 5th. Yep.
Yes, and it's the Republican primary, but we have open primaries in Lawrence County, and
So the election won't be completely over this time.
It's step one.
Step one.
If I can get through step 1, step 2 will be August, and
Yes.
there's an independent opponent in the August election, and so if I can make it through the primary, I will, square off with him in the August election. So anyway, love to have your support, love to have your vote. My wife and kids love what we do. I wasn't even going to consider a second term unless I had their buy-in.
Sure.
And they all said, "Daddy, go for it. We love doing what we do." And then I wasn't going to do it either without the buy-in of my church family and my board. And so they were all for it as well. So,
well, David, I've known you and your family a long, long time, as you know, and we've been good friends, great friends, and I have a tremendous amount of confidence in you. I really, really do.
Appreciate that.
And I know that you'll continue to do a fine job as county executive. And I know you were just here to ask for the votes of the people of Lawrence County.
Yes, sir. It's in private, when I have my own business, I could determine a lot about my future. I could go hustle more jobs. I could hire the right people. In this role, there's a lot of faith and trust in my God. One, to open doors that need to be open, close doors that need to be closed, and then second, there's a faith and trust in my fellow citizens to make the right decisions and to put the right people in office. And so
it takes a lot of cooperation.
I believe there's a lot of people that can do this, but I believe I'm the right person for the job, and I would love to have that opportunity and experience again. Because, if it's not broke, don't fix it, kind of the way I look at things. In a second term, the learning curve's over, and you can build upon what you did in the first term. And you should see exponential results in the second term, and that's what I'm looking forward to doing.
Amen. David Morgan, everybody, county executive, and of course, seeking that second term. We wish you well, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
See you next time.
All right. God bless.
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Good job.
I'm still not afraid, and I still believe in the independent federal judiciary, so let's go.
Tomorrow, the suspect